So basically this pattern comes with a little sheet which is your size chart, so you can check along the size chart, you can measure, it's all done in inches, and you can find out what size you are. It starts at extra small and goes up to +3 times. If you know your size, then you can just use that as a rough estimate, and then once you put your pattern together, it tells you which line you need to cut along, and that breaks it down nicely into your correct sizing. So after you've assembled your pattern, you're going to place it over your fabric, and using your rotary cutter or your scissors, you're going to cut out your piece, bearing in mind that it's going to be 2 layers of fabric, and if you just fold your fabric, then you will get 2 contrasting pieces. I am going to keep this fabric just in a little basket and make something out of it, because this fabric that I got from the fabric gallery is actually very pretty, so I don't want to waste any of these pieces. Okay, so for now I can just fold my pattern, and I'm going to put this away to use another time. Now you should have 2 pieces that look like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold them, so one at a time, right sides facing together. I'm going to fold them in half. You can turn if you want to. So I'm clipping this all together just so that these 2 pieces on the straight side line up with each other. Okay, the tips do need to somehow match, even if you're going to be stretching the one side to make it fit. Okay, so basically I'm going to do that for both pieces. Fold them in half, pin them, and then you're going to sew with the zigzag stitch because it is going to be a stretchy fabric. Something else that is important to note is that your fabric should have a 4-way stretch. So fold both pieces, do your zigzag stitch going all the way along here. I'm going to do that, and then I will see you after that. So the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to take one of your leg pieces, you're going to turn it around so that it is the right way, and then you're going to place your fabric, the one that's the right way around your leg piece, you're going to put it into the other leg piece, which is the wrong way. And basically you're going to line them up so that they have their openings in the same way. So the easiest thing would be is to find the seam that you had just sewn and line those 2 pieces together. Okay, now you're just going to pin along the openings, pin the seams. Get it all matching nicely. If you are not going to use this legging pattern, another thing that you can do is you can take a pair of leggings that fit you really well and basically put them flat down onto a piece of paper, and you can trace it and then just flip it the other way and trace it along this way. But you'd have to be very, very precise, and also remember to keep in your seam allowance. I have done it that way and it works perfectly well, especially if you have that tights that fits you super well and you need to have one that fits that way. I have made the patterns for Pirates leggings before, and I found it to be really nice because it's high-waisted, which I always look for in leggings, and the sizes are pretty accurate, but I do suggest you measure yourself and compare it to that size. So now I have this entire area here with wonder clips. So I'm going to sew along here also with a zigzag stitch, not the top, not this top part, but just going around here. Next, you're going to take a measurement around your waist. They do have suggestions for each size and the amount you're going to use to cut your waistband, but what I'd like to do is take an exact measurement of my waist tightly, because I like the waistband to actually be a bit tight and I don't add any seam allowance to it. So now I have this 7-inch wide length, the size of my waist, piece of fabric, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fold it in half with the right sides facing the top, and after I fold it in half, I'm going to fold it in half again to give me my waistband. And then I'm just going to sew along the edges to seal this all together. Okay, now I am basically turning my tights, the leg pieces, to all be the right size. You can see it's starting to look like tights. Next, I'm going to take my waistband and I'm going to divide it into 4 equal parts. Okay, and I'm just going to use wonder clips, but you can just use pins to mark those 4 places. And I'm going to do the same for the leg pieces. So next you're going to take the raw edges of your waistband and the raw edge of your pants, and you're going to basically match the edges together. So where you divided the waistband in 4 and where you divided your leg pieces in 4, you're going to basically match those pins together and pin them together, just ensuring that your raw edges are together and not the nice side of the waistband. Remember, your waistband would probably be smaller than your leg piece, and that's because you're going to stretch and sew as you're matching these. So just pull it like this as you're sewing, and then those pieces should meet together. Another thing that's important to note is where you have this raw seam, you need to make sure that that side is facing upwards so that when you actually flip it open, that part is going to be inside and hidden when you're using your tights, and it's not going to be shown. Some important tips to actually note when working with lycra and when working with any other stretchy fabric is to always remember, try not to stretch and sew unless you're doing something like a waistband, and to always use a zigzag stitch, which allows for stretch, natural stretch, and doesn't actually rip open your seams, because when working with stretch is usually because you want something that is tight fitting. So now I'm going to just go to my sewing machine, and with the zigzag stitch I'm going to sew around this opening. All that's left to do now is to hem my leggings. So I'm just going to hem it by doing a double fold, which is you fold once and then you fold again. So probably just like a centimeter fold and then another centimeter. If you want yours to be shorter, you can make a bigger fold on yours, but I'm just going to do a centimeter and a centimeter because I am heading into winter, so I'm trying to stock up on as much winter clothing as possible. But if you're heading into the warmer months, you can even use these as shorts. So I'm just going to do a centimeter fold and another centimeter fold, hem that, and then we are done.